What's going on, my people of YouTube, and happy Halloween to all you crazy mofos out there. Now, by the time this video gets uploaded, it will already be November 1st, but note that this video was done on Halloween. Anywho, we are doing the last deck I had in mind, which is going to be the Earthbound Immortal deck. Now, this deck I just got thrown together. I got all the cards put together, me and my work schedule. Long story short, we had to work all weekend this past weekend, so now we're working all week this week, and we worked all week last week, so me trying to get time to throw all this stuff together, plus some other personal stuff I got going on the side, literally personal stuff going on the side, yeah, I finally got to this. So we are going to be doing a Earthbound Immortal, like, underground god deck. Now, the Earthbound Immortal archetype is actually really fun and really freaking destructive if it's played correctly. These were the immortal gods that were in the 5Ds era of the YuGiOh series. That was the third series they came out with, which involved the synchro summoning, of course, which is probably one of my other favorite summoning mechanics for sure, aside from fusion, because fusion is the foundation of YuGiOh. Well, as a mechanic for summoning purposes. Anyway, we're going to skip all that. We are going to be playing this video, and I'm going to show you guys what we can do with a fun-to-play Earthbound Immortal God deck. Now, first off, we're going to be playing, well, technically, there's only literally seven Earthbound Immortals, but we're only playing 6 for the deck. However, there is one in the sideboard, which I really am not that concerned about. And we are using Orchid sleeves, and I must say it actually fits the theme of the deck pretty good, since Earthbound Immortals are pretty much all dark monsters. So, Orchid Dragon Shield sleeves. Look into them. I'm telling you, Dragon Shield has very, 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 very good sleeves for sure. Anyway, we're going to start out with the deck profile. So, for right now, for the monsters, we are starting with one Earthbound Immortal Kokopakapoo. He is one of the 2 strongest of the 7 Earthbound Immortals. He is a level 10 Fiend type monster, and what he does is, the unique part about the Earthbound Immortals, they cannot be targeted for attacks at all by any monsters, but they can be destroyed by card effects and whatnot. Now, each Earthbound Immortal also has a second weakness, which is they must have a field spell on the field in order to keep them in play, because if there is no field spell, they cannot stay on the field. However, there is one card that breaks that ruling in this deck, which is actually very freaking fun and very freaking amazing. And we'll get to that later. But each Earthbound Immortal, not only are they immune from monster attacks, unless a card bypasses that rule to where you can attack it, like shooting Majestic Star Dragon, and cards that just cancel out monster effects. Not only can they not be targeted by monsters, they have to have a field spell to be played on the field. They all have their own unique special ability as well. Earthbound Immortal Kokopakapoo has an ability where if instead of also the other, actually that's the fourth thing. The third thing I was going to say was each Earthbound Immortal can also attack your opponent directly instead of attacking monsters. So they are the only, well, aside from, they're basically Toon World or Toon monsters on crack when you think about it. So yeah, they are a attack directly type deck, which is why this deck is very aggressive and very cool for sure. But anyway, Earthbound Immortal has the option, if you attack an opponent's monster with it and destroy it, your opponent takes damage equal to that monster's original attack point. So it's basically an Elemental Hero Flame Wingman on steroids. And then we have one Earthbound Immortal Uru, which is the spider of the deck. Yes, it is a spider. For those of you who have arachnophobia, just shut up. But anyway, Earthbound Immortal Uru has the same, as I said, all the Earthbound Immortals have the same effects except their own unique effect. So Earthbound Immortal Uru has a special ability where you can tribute a monster on your side of the field to take control of your opponent's monster for that turn and that turn only, which is very cool. And then for the third Earthbound Immortal, we have the whale, which is Kokoraya. What this monster does is, as long as it can attack your opponent directly, of course, all Earthbound Immortals can. It has the option where if you were to not attack this turn, you are able to make this monster, you can deal damage to your opponent equal to half of this monster's attack points, but for that turn, that monster cannot attack. Also, if that monster is in defense position, it cannot attack, well, you cannot attack at all that turn. So it just locks you out of attacking completely, which this is basically the burn monster of the deck if you want to be a little, and play things safe. But, it is what it is. And then we have the one Earthbound Immortal Kusulu, the monkey of the Immortals. Basically, what his special ability is, I do forget what he does. He's the one that's not really that, he's really not that important. But basically what his ability is, if this card were to be destroyed by battle, as I said, if it was able to be destroyed by a monster or whatever, or a card effect, you contribute one other monster instead, and if you do, have your opponent's life points. So, in other words, if you try to destroy the monkey, he just says, ooh, no, joke's on you. I stay on field by tributing monster, and I deal half damage to you. Yeah, so he pretty much says, screw you. And then for the 5th Earthbound Immortal, we are playing the Oh, shoot. Nope, wait. I got those names backwards. I'm tired, guys. It's like 10 o'clock at night, and I'm like about ready for bed. That's Chaka-Chalua. Okay, the whale is Chaka-Chalua. And the lizard is basically Kokoraya. I got those two mixed up. I'm tired. Let me have my moment. But its ability states, if it is destroyed on the field, it basically is a nuke. It has the special ability where if this card is destroyed, all cards on the field are destroyed. Not just monsters, not back row, but everything. So if your opponent has a full board and they're not able to negate it, you basically just destroyed their entire board. So Kokoraya is definitely one of the best ones of the deck. I will not lie. And then for the last Earthbound Immortal we are playing the Earthbound Immortal Asilapiscu, the hummingbird. Now, what the hummingbird does is if it happens to leave the field, you can destroy the monsters on your opponent, all monsters on the field, and for that, I think it's either your opponent's monsters or your monsters. I forget. Let me double check the ruling. Okay, yeah, I was right. It's only your opponent's monsters, and they take 800 points of damage per monster destroyed. So if they have a full board, that's like 4,000 to the face right there, or whatever. It's 800 points per monster. But anyway, that's it for those. And then we are running 2 of the Earthbound Greater Line Walkers. Now, he is actually really good too. And he has a very unique ability of how you can summon him. If you control one synchro monster on the field and one synchro monster on the graveyard or in the graveyard, you're able to special summon him to the field. And his other ability states if you happen to normal summon a Earthbound Immortal monster while you control him on the field, you're able to force your opponent to make their life points 3,000. So imagine being able to pull off a combo to where you can constantly summon out, get him on the field, and then tribute a monsters to play one of your Earthbound Immortals. However, there is a tactic and a trick as to why and how you only need one monster to summon one of the 6 Earthbound Immortals for the deck, unless you want to play the 7th one, which you don't really see a whole lot of because of its one ability, which is kind of weird for sure. And then for the other 3, we are playing 3 of the new Ascatur Dawnwalker. Now, basically what this card does is you can discard 1 card from your hand to special summon this monster, and once you do, you can special summon. It's either special summon or... Yes, and then you can special summon 1 Fire Ant Ascatur from your hand or deck, and you cannot special summon... So, basically, when this card is summoned to the field, you get to special summon a Fire Ant Ascatur, and once the ant has been summoned and its effect goes off, all you do is synchro summon. This card locks you out of every other summoning method, and you are forced to synchro summon, which I'm going to get as to why you mainly just want to run synchro monsters in your extra deck. And then here comes the monster I was just telling you guys about that has a very unique special ability, 3 Earthbound Line Walker. Now, what he does is, as long as he's on the field, any Earthbound Immortal monsters cannot be destroyed by their own effects. So, in other words, if you wanted to play your Earthbound Immortals without a field spell and he's on the field, this basically nullifies the second effect of the Earthbound Immortals to where the no field spell is null and void to where they are not destroyed. So as long as he's on the field, they can't be destroyed. If you have no field spell, you're safe. But if you have a field spell on them, it's vice versa. And then we are running 3 of the Supe Duskwalker. Now, what she does is it's the same effect of Asketer Duskwalker. She is the summoning monster to where you discard a card to summon her to summon a Supe from your deck or hand. Oh, wait, it's either hand or deck. I believe it is. From your hand or deck. Yeah, I had to double check. From your hand or deck. So, therefore, you are locked into more synchro plays, but it's really not a bad thing. And then, of course, since we're playing 3 of each, we're playing 3 of the Fire Ant Asketer. And basically what Fire Ant Asketer is, it is your level 3 tuner of the deck. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can target one level 5 monster in your graveyard to special summon that monster. But its effects are negated. Also send it to the graveyard during the end phase of this turn. So if the Fire Ant Asketer just happens to get popped or destroyed or whichever, you can bring back one of your level 5 or higher monsters, considering it gets destroyed regardless. And then we are also playing 3 of the Supe, which you also want to play because of Duskwalker, and Supe is your level 1 tuner of the deck. And its effect states, when this card is sent from the field to the graveyard by a card effect, you can special summon 1 Oracle of the Sun from your deck, and if you do, double its attack. Also, return it to the hand during the end phase of this turn. Now, I'm probably going to do some tweaking because I might consider taking out 1 Asketer and 1 Supe because I run Oracle of the Suns in the side deck, and it's actually not a bad card, I will not lie. And also, furthermore, as I said earlier, this deck is just fun. It's not really competitive. Like, this is a deck you just want to play with friends and whatever. If you want to take it to a shop, like I've said in all my videos, have at it. Tweak it as you want. But anyway, that's pretty much it for the monsters. And I would want to run the 3 Oracle of the Suns, but you're probably going to push it to 2 because of Supe right here, because Supe is the searcher for that if anything were to happen to him. Okay, so now for the spells, we are playing 3 Earthbound Geoglyphs. This is your main Heart and Soul field spell of the deck, and what this card does is, and it is very amazing, I will say. Its effect states, while any level 10 monsters are on the field, neither player can target this card with card effects. Also, it cannot be destroyed by card effects. You can treat 1 Synchro monster as 2 tributes for the tribute summon of an Earthbound Immortal monster. Yes, so therefore that's why I said this deck is very synchro based as well, because as long as you have the Geoglyph on the field, you can treat them as a 2 tributes for the cost of another Earthbound Immortal monster. So this card is very, very, very good to have. Again, this card with synchros is your best friend, without question. And also, if a synchro summon monster is special summoned except during the damage step, you can also add 1 Earthbound Immortal spell or trap from your deck to your hand. You can only use the effect of Earthbound Geoglyph once per turn. So not only are you adding cards from your deck to your hand, but you're also getting the permission to make a synchro monster a 2 tribute. Could you imagine synchro summoning to like level 2s, level 5s, and just making them 2 tributes for an Earthbound Immortal? That would be freaking amazing. And plus, it can't be destroyed as long as you control Earthbound Immortals, and they're all level 10, so the field spell is protected regardless. And then we are playing 3 of the Earthbound Immortal Revival. Basically what this card does is it's a monster reborn for your spells and trap and Earthbound Immortal spell and traps and monsters. You discard 1 card to add 1 Earthbound Immortal spell or trap and a monster from your graveyard back to your hand, so it retrieves both. And then we're playing 3 Earthbound Whirlwind. It is basically a Harpy's Feather Duster for your Earthbound Immortals. It cannot be activated unless you control an Earthbound Immortal, which, hence the name, Earthbound Whirlwind. And plus, you can play it at 3, which is even more BS for sure. And then for some tech cards, we are playing 1 March of the Monarchs. Yes, it is a very broken card for sure with tribute summon based decks. What this card does is, as long as it's on the field, tribute summon monsters on the field cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects. So, in other words, March of the Monarchs combined with the Earthbound Geoglyph and another Earthbound Immortal monster, you basically have a very indestructible board for sure, without question, unless your opponent's got outs. Then 1 Monster Reborn, because that's a generic revival for a monster from your graveyard. And of course, the 1 Terraforming to search out the field spell, of course. And then that's it for the spells excuse me, that we are running for the deck, guys. And then moving on to our traps, we are playing 3 of the Earthbound Wave. It is your main counter trap card of the deck. Basically, Solemn Judgment for Earthbound Immortals. As long as you control an Earthbound Immortal, this trap card cannot be activated. It can negate the effect of a spell or a trap, and yes, while you control an Earthbound Immortal monster, negate the activation of a spell or trap card your opponent would go to use. So that is a major plus for sure for all of us and for those who are playing this. And then we are playing 3 of the Offering to the Immortals. Now, basically what this card does is, when your opponent declares declares a direct attack on you and your life points are 3,000 or less, stop the attack and then summon 2 Earthbound tokens to the field that are level 1 with 0 attack and defense, I believe it is. And they cannot be tribute summoned except for the tribute summon of the Earthbound Immortals, hence the name Offering to the Immortals. So that you got multiple ways to get your Earthbound Immortal monsters out on the field, without question. And then for more, the last few traps we have is the 1 Ultimate Earthbound Immortal. What this card basically does is, if a Earthbound Immortal monster is on the if a normal summon set Earthbound Immortal monster is on the field, you can target 1 face-up monster on the field and destroy it, and you can only use the effect of Ultimate Earthbound Immortal once per turn. So basically, as long as you have an Earthbound Immortal monster on the field, if it's normal summon or set or whatever, this goes off and you can destroy a monster on your opponent's field, which is actually very nice. And for the last Earthbound Immortal trap, we are running 1 Roar of the Earthbound Immortal. What this card does is, once per turn, if an opponent's monster declares an attack, target the attacking monster, destroy that target. If you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half of the destroyed monster's original attack. You must control an Earthbound Immortal monster on the field with an attack higher than the attack of the attacking monster to activate and resolve this effect. So that is a plus. Then for the last tech trap, we are playing 1 Metaverse, just to search out the geoglyph if you don't get into terraforming, because vice versa. Metaverse just has the option for you to either set your field spell or activate it immediately. So that's it for the main deck. And now for the extra deck. Like I said, it's heavily synchro based. So we are playing 3 copies of the Sun Dragon Inti. It is a level 8 light dragon monster. And basically what Sun Dragon Inti does, it takes 1 level 3, or 1 Fire Ant Ascator with 1 level 5 non-tuner monster again. So Duskwalker summons into Ascator, you would sink into level 8 Inti here. If this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, destroy the monster that destroyed this card. So it's basically a mirror force to the monster that destroys it. And if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half of the attack of the monster on the field. So not only are you popping their monster, but you're also forcing your opponent to take half of that monster's attack as damage to their own life points. So no matter what, they're going to take life point damage, which is a very major plus without question. And then, once per turn, during the standby phase of the next turn, after this card is on the field was destroyed, you can then target a Moondragon Quilla from your graveyard and special summon that card. So basically, the sun and the moon correspond to one another, so no matter what, if either is destroyed, they're bringing back basically bringing each other back, which is actually a very good plus. So of course, the light can't go without the dark, the darkness cannot live without the light. It's that kind of moral concept. And then, speaking of Moondragon Quilla, we are playing 3 of the Moondragon Quilla. Now, what this card states is, if this card is targeted for an attack, gain life points equal to half of the attacking monster. And if this card on the field is destroyed, you can target a Sun Dragon into your graveyard special summoning. So, concept. If you attack the sun, it destroys the monster, and you take life point damage for half of that monster. Now, if you attack into Moondragon Quilla, your life points you gain life points to half of the monster, that destroyed this card. So no matter what, you're dealing damage and you're gaining life points. I'm telling you what, you can't go wrong with either of those effects. And then we're just playing a lot of generic synchro monsters, except for these ones here, because he takes Supe, he takes Variant Asketer, so no matter what, you need one or the other. And then we are playing 3 Stardust Dragon. Yes, we're playing 3 of Yusei's Dragon, because you can't have the Immortals without the Dragon. And basically, Stardust Dragon is that old school card that states, when your opponent goes to activate a card that would destroy cards on your side of the field, you contribute it to stop the activation and bring it back during your next standby phase, which is a major plus. And then we're playing 1 Wind Pegasus ad Ignister. Basically, when this card is when this card is on the field, you can target 1 spell or trap card your opponent controls, destroy it. If this card is destroyed, you can, or actually no, that's backwards. While this card is on the field or in the graveyard, you can banish this card, then target 1 card your opponent controls, shuffle it into the deck, and you can use the effect of Wind Pegasus at Ignister once per turn. So again, there's a lot of generic synchro monsters, because you only need synchro monsters to pop off the effect of the Geoglyph to make them 2 tributes for this tribute summon of an Earthbound Immortal. So no matter what, you're getting your Earthbound Immortals to the field, no matter what. And then we are playing 1 of the new Infernity Doom Archfiend. Well, vaguely new. And basically what he does is, once per turn, you can target 1 face-up card on the field and negate its effects until the end of this turn. However, then if you have no cards in your hand, you can also destroy it. While you have no cards in your hand, if this card battles an opponent's monster, any battle damage this card inflicts to your opponent is doubled. A Dark Synchro monster that was summoned using this card as a material can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during your opponent's battle phase. So I'm not sure how to make that work, considering the odd ratio of the synchro leveling, without question. And then, just for the craps and giggles, we are playing 2 level 9 Cloud Castles. It's a 3,000. It's a 3K defender. And what it does is, when this card is synchro summoned, you can target a level 9 monster in your graveyard, special summon that target. Then, if a level 8 or lower monster cannot attack the turn they are normal or special summoned. So, this basically locks your opponent out of level 8 or lower monsters on your field to attack you. So, not only do you get a 3K defender, but your opponent cannot attack you at all with their level 8 or lower monsters, which is actually a plus for you. And then for your 1 level 8 Dark monster, we are playing 1 Thought Ruler Archfiend, because Thought Ruler Archfiend is a very generic synchro monster for sure. And basically what he does is, if this card destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, gain life points to equal of that monster's original attack points in the graveyard. When a spell or trap card is activated that could target a psychic monster and no other cards, quick effect, you can pay 1,000 life points to negate the activation if you do destroy it. So say, for instance, if Thought Ruler Archfiend is being targeted, you can pay 1,000 life points to stop the attack. So not only does he when he destroys a monster, you gain life points, but you still have enough life points to pay to stop effects from popping off, which is plus. And then for the last card, we are playing 1 Relinquished Anima. Since we play the Supe, that's why you play only the 1 copy of him, but Supe is mainly going to be used for synchro summons. You don't link into him unless you absolutely have to, for the most part. That's the way I look at it. And basically what he does is, you can target 1 face-up card that this card points to and equip that face-up monster on the field, max 1. And you can use this effect of Relinquished Anima once per turn. This card gains attack points equal to the equipped monster. So that's pretty much for the extra deck, and that is pretty much it for the whole deck, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and what you guys think about this deck. Was it good? Was it not good? Is there anything else that could be changed that you guys would want to see? Is there any other decks you guys want to see me do? And I know I've been slacking on my videos here lately, but then again, I already told you guys I've been having some personal stuff going on here lately. Hence as to why I have not been able to do much videos, but I'm trying to get what I can, and I have another deck in mind that I was going to do for this month, but I'm going to end up doing it here within the next day or two, hopefully. And I think you guys will pretty much enjoy that as well. And also, I'm going to be doing some more deck videos here soon for you guys that are just for fun. And also just decks you can play for fun. They're not competitive, but again, you guys know I do deck profiles just for you guys to look into. If you guys want to try something different, try something just to play. Like, you don't have to be super competitive. Again, this channel is just to give you guys an idea of what to throw in for certain decks if you guys have an idea. Like certain cards you're looking for, and I just have some of them, or you just forgotten some. But anyway, I think I'll just show you guys the side deck just real quick. We are playing the 7th Earthbound Immortal, which is the Earthbound Immortal Rakura Raska, or Rakura Raska. It's a very, very weird name. It's Wiraquocha. I think it's it's a tongue twister. Like, I can't pronounce it. I remember how it was said, but I do remember how it was said, but I am very forgetful at the moment as to how you pronounce it. But anyway, its ability states, when this card is summoned, target 1 to 3 cards you control, but not more than your opponent has in their hand. Shuffle them into the deck. Then discard the same number of random cards from your opponent's hand, or as many as possible. And if you do, this card gains 1,000 life points for each card discarded by this effect. So it's a 3k beat stick, give or take, for the most part. And also, it has the same effect as the other Earthbound Immortals. And then we are playing 3 of the Oracle of the Sun for the extra deck, because, again, Supe corresponds to this, and Oracle of the Sun also corresponds to Fire Ant Ascator. If your opponent controls a monster and you can special summon this card from your hand, when this card is on the field, is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can add a Fire Ant Ascator or a Supe from your deck to your hand. So this searches out for either of the two if it gets destroyed, which is nice. And then you're playing the 110 Spirit Fishuda, just for the lulz, honestly. And plus, Supe with this makes a level 8, because Fishuda is a level 7. If you control no effect monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you control a face-up non-effect monster, you can banish this card from your hand or graveyard. You can target 1 card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. So this card is just for the synchro plays, honestly. Then we're playing 2 Dark Halls, and if you guys look, these are some old Magic-themed Dark Halls before Magic was introduced as spells. They're playing the 1 Twin Twisters for back row pop, reasoning just to get a monster out on the field real quick, and you're just searching through your deck. Another Ultimate Earthbound Immortal just for the lulz. Then another Earthbound Immortal card called Revival of the Immortals. It's an Earthbound Immortal Monster Reborn only. That special summons it from your graveyard. It cannot declare an attack the turn it is used. Also, your opponent cannot take damage from that monster. So it just depends how you want to play it. And then the other one is called Call of the Earthbound. And what it does is, while your opponent declares an attack, you choose the target of the attack. So if your opponent is trying to attack one of your immortals because they did something to make them be attacked, you can switch the attack to something else. And then for the last, we're playing the 3 monster track Zone of the Spirit. When it's on the field, if your opponent destroys it, then your opponent takes damage equal to the monster it was attacked by. So that is pretty much it for the deck profile, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. As I said earlier, be sure to leave a like and a comment in the comment section below. Smash the like button and smash that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. If you guys want to see more crazy decks, for sure, or if you got some deck ideas you'd want to see me do, please, again, leave me comments in the comment section below. I do read the comments, I do respond, and I might not be the quickest with getting certain decks up because of ideas that's been given, but some of them are just pricey, some of them are expensive, and I'm doing what I can for you guys. So, hopefully everybody had a great Halloween, and I hope everybody's been safe. Until the next video, guys, be safe, take it easy, and I will be having a couple more new videos up for you here soon, besides the one other deck I told you guys I had in mind. I already got thrown together. I just need to get sleeved up and put on here for you guys. And I got a couple more cards waiting in the mail for you guys to bring up one of the decks I had mentioned earlier in one of my other videos I had posted a while ago. It's one of the 5 decks I had actually mentioned I was going to do. I just needed 2 other cards to make the deck complete and finalized, so therefore you guys are going to have a very good video here soon. So, without further ado, take it easy, be safe, and share my videos around if you guys enjoy this and you'd want some of your friends to enjoy the panache or astounding things I bring to you guys. I'm sorry, I'm brain dead. I can't think of the crazier words for you guys. Anyway, until the next video, guys, be safe, take care, and later. Hidden Angel Lionheart, signing out.